Welcome to the Growth Through Adversity podcast, where men are forged, not coddled. Here we dive deep into the path of true transformation in pursuit of physical, mental, spiritual, and temporal growth. We talk training, nutrition, business, mindset, and spirituality. We embrace strength and we loathe ease. We reject weakness in every form and cultivate power, the will to power itself. This is the rebirth of modern man. Raw masculinity, tempered by reason, virtue, and right action, because nothing of value is earned without sacrifice. Let's begin our apotheosis together. Welcome to another episode of the Growth Through Adversity podcast with your host, Ragnar the Warwolf. So, guys, today we are going to talk about how to lose 30 pounds in 6 weeks. Now, that's obviously just me throwing some fucking numbers out there, but I have legitimately seen that, with the caveat being if you're morbidly obese. So if you're morbidly obese, you can lose 30, even 40 pounds in 6 weeks. I've seen that regularly, and I'm going to give you a cheat code where you can do it without having to fucking track a single fucking calorie, right? So if this is from someone who's lived it, tested it, and coached men through it. I'm not here just giving you guys some bullshit. This is going to be some real takeaways that if you are overweight, and this is more geared for people that are way overweight and are trying to start the journey, I'm going to give you some tools that you can do, like I said, to lose the first 30 to 50 pounds without ever tracking a single fucking calorie. So I'm going to give you a system with 3 very simple steps. Those 3 steps are going to help you lose your first 30 to 50 pounds. Now, the thing about being largely overweight, obese, is that your body doesn't like it. You're not healthy. Your joints don't like it. Your body wants to get rid of the fat, right? And you have an abundance of it. So basically changing a few minor things is going to give you the ability to lose a lot of weight really fast. Now, what happens and where I see people fail on this, and this is why I'm going to start with this rather than finish with this, is just because you lose the first 30 to 50 pounds like that doesn't mean that's going to work for the next block. The leaner your body gets, the more difficult fat loss becomes. For somebody who's 20% body fat, it's infinitely more difficult to lose 10 pounds than it is for somebody who's 40% body fat, right? And the lower your body fat percentage goes, the more difficult it becomes to lose fat because your body wants to keep fat. It's a survival mechanism. Your metabolism thinks that the more fat you have, the more secure you are in your life because we spent tens of thousands, millions of years fucking starving, right, in our prehistory. So with all that being said, these are the 3 simple steps. So if I woke up tomorrow naked, rolled out of bed with a massive morning erection and was like, holy shit, I'm 320 pounds. What the fuck should I do? These are the 3 steps that I would follow. So number 1, I'm going to cut out liquid calories. Bro, it's that fucking simple. You guys drinking your sodies, the soda pops, the fancy coffees, the fucking with the sugar in them and the fat and all the bullshit. Now, I'm not talking about 0 calorie. I'm talking about anything that's got calories in it that come from liquid calories. That's juice, that's soda, that's the fucking pussy coffees that you guys always see you sipping on. We're gonna cut all those out. They're garbage. They're fucking dog shit. You don't need to be drinking them anyways, right? So liquid sugar is the worst type of sugar. It spikes your insulin massively and leads to a ton of fat storage because there's nothing to slow down its digestion. Those drinks are also packed full of that sugar. So it's a double-edged sword. I'm telling you, they are the reason why you're fat. And cutting them out is going to be a huge part of why you become unfat. It's weird how that works. So I had a client that literally dropped 15 pounds in the first month just by cutting out Coke. He didn't even follow a fucking meal plan. Like he just cut out soda. He was drinking 3 Cokes a day on average. And he cut those out and he lost 15 pounds in a month just by doing that. So number 2, you guys are going to hate me for this. Eliminate alcohol, 100%, 0 alcohol. Now, not saying you can't ever taper it back into your diet. You absolutely can. But when you're in that process where you're really serious about fat loss, you need to make some sacrifices, and alcohol is a great sacrifice. Number 1, it's empty calories. It's calories that don't actually give you any energy, right? Why would you eat empty calories? If you're going to be in a caloric deficit and you're only eating a certain amount of calories, why would any of those be empty calories? No, they have to be valuable calories, right? Number two, it has a hormonal effect. It crushes your testosterone. It crushes your growth hormone. It crushes your anabolic hormones that actually lead to fat loss, right? That actually stimulate the process of fat loss, and it raises your cortisol, which encourages your body to store fat, right? It also disturbs your sleep. Most of your fat's going to be lost at sleep. So this is going to allow you to let your hormones normalize, to cut out a lot of empty calories, and to just really get yourself in a position to lose that first chunk of weight. You're fighting uphill here. Your body never fully recovers. The other thing is, like we've talked about before, it inhibits protein synthesis because it's a poison, and it inhibits lipolysis, which is just fancy words for building muscle and burning fat. Because your body's priority is to get it out of your bloodstream, right? So your metabolism doesn't do anything else until all the alcohol's out of your body. So those 3 beers you're drinking a day are 3 hours where you're not burning fat, 3 hours where you're not building muscle, and then it crashes your hormones for about 48 hours after that. So unless you want to fucking hop on TRT and start blasting a ton of gear to keep your hormones to the roof, which I don't recommend because that's going to fuck your heart up and all kinds of other side effects, then you're just going to have your anabolic hormones are going to be crashed, right? So don't do it. And then the third step, I'm not going to track a single calorie, right? You don't need to track a single calorie at this stage of your fat loss journey. That's going to come later, and we're going to track everything later. But what you do need to do, it's so simple. Just so we've cut out the soda, we've cut out the alcohol, and now we're going to just 50% of every meal that we eat is going to come from a lean protein source. That doesn't mean ribeye. That doesn't mean ground beef. That means a lean protein source. Chicken, some fish, Greek yogurt, egg whites, lean beef, pork tenderloin, ground turkey, that sort of thing. That's going to make up 50% of your plate. Also, like a portion moderation, but just by cutting out the alcohol and by cutting out the sodas, the juice, all that bullshit, that's going to put you in probably a fucking 1,200 calorie deficit just right off the rip if you've been indulging in most of that. And most people I know that are morbidly obese drink soda, drink alcohol, do all the bad stuff, right? It's just, you don't get there for no reason. People would like me to believe that, but it's just not how it works. So just by cutting that shit out, you're going to put yourself in a way better position. And then if your meals are structured like this, you're going to reduce your calories significantly, and you're going to give yourself enough protein and enough of the raw elements to build muscle, which is going to speed up your metabolism and help you burn it even more. Again, this is going to boost your metabolism, a thing called the thermic effect. That's the amount of calories it takes for your body to digest foods. It's highest with protein. Number two, it's going to balance your hunger hormones, right? This is really key. Protein has a massive satisfying element to it. It leads to satiety over time. And it's also going to help you build muscle, which is going to raise your baseline calories, which is the most important part of fat loss. So like I said, I've seen obese guys lean out just by making half their plate a lean protein source. That's it, not tracking a fucking single calorie. It works really, really well. It's also a great protocol if you're traveling. Like, just if 50% of your plate is protein, you're naturally going to keep yourself right around maintenance calories, maybe a little over, maybe a little under, and you're going to hit your protein goals almost every day, which is really the key. So how this simulates massive fat loss. Number one, it puts you into a caloric deficit because you're cutting out the fucking things that have been cutting your throat. Number two, it improves insulin sensitivity. The body actually uses the carbs and fat for fuel, which is really the key. Having a good, healthy hormone profile where your insulin levels are regulated and you have a good amount of insulin sensitivity makes it to where it's much easier to build muscle and burn fat. So we want to play with our metabolism, and we want to play into our hormones. And then it's going to play with your hunger hormones, which is ghrelin, the satiety hormone, which is leptin, are going to start working again in balance because you're not throwing them off by, drinking a 6-pack of soda every day. And then testosterone and growth hormone are slowly going to recover over time. They're anabolic. They're going to give you more energy and drive, which is going to help you further yourself on this process. Big warning. So this will work for the first 30 to 50 pounds if you're morbidly obese, like 100%. This is a great tool. I mean, could you do better with a structured training program? Absolutely. But will this work? 100%. I've seen this work numerous times. But eventually what's going to happen is that builds a false sense of confidence. Like, hey, I've got this under control. I just lost 30 pounds. I hear this from guys all the time. I've already lost 30 pounds. I've already lost 50 pounds. And it's like, great. I'm fucking happy for you, dude. And I'm proud of you because it definitely took some sacrifices to get there. But the next 30 to 50 pounds are not just going to come off by cutting out soda. It's going to take a lot more structured planning and programming because, again, your body doesn't like becoming, the leaner you get, the less your body likes it, because from a survival standpoint, it's fucking stupid. Our incessant desire to build muscle and to burn fat from an evolutionary standpoint is totally fucking irrational, and our metabolism does not like it. Muscle takes a fuckload of extra energy. That's what we're talking about. It increases the BMR. It takes a lot of extra fuel to sustain it. So your body doesn't want a lot of extra muscle mass. It wants enough to move around and be fast and agile, but it doesn't want so much that you look like a fucking bodybuilder, or even that you have the athletic look that we crave in modern society. If you look at people in like hunter-gatherer nomadic tribes, primitive tribes still, they're like wiry, spindly, they don't have oppressive physiques. They don't look like fucking the dude from the Thor movies. You know what I mean? Like we portray them in Hollywood today. No, they have the minimal amount of muscle on them possible to move fast, to run. And then, most of them are starving. So it's not going to work forever, but it is going to work in the beginning. So don't build a false sense of confidence. Know that you're going to hit a plateau. Don't get discouraged. That's just going to require more intelligent programming, better structure. And that's, a great time to look at hiring a coach or giving yourself the tools or finding a workout partner that knows what the fuck they're doing, or doing something, because you're probably not going to be able to do it on your own at that stage. That's just me being completely honest. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. So I am going to be gone next week. I'm going to go try to kill a moose with my bow. We're going out there, and I'm going to be gone. I'm actually leaving Saturday morning at Ass 30. So I'm going to be off the grid. And I'm not going to do any live trainings next week, but I will be back the week after that. So if you guys are one of my clients, I will post something in the group and something on my story, but everything will be normal. Leanne is going to cover for me on check-ins and programs and all that kind of good stuff. And if you need to, she has access to the True Coach app. So send messages there. Don't text me on WhatsApp or my cell phone. I'm going to have 0 bars out in the middle of nowhere. So they will just sit there until I come back to civilization, hopefully with a fuckload of moose meat. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys.